What's new, crew? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Cassandra and today we're talking about my September meal plan for my large family. I get a ton of new viewers every month on these videos, so let me just explain in 30 seconds or less basically how we do meals around here. We hunt and fish for as much as we possibly can meat-wise for ourselves. We grow a lot of our own vegetables. We like to fry a lot of things locally. Freezers are currently full of local beef, local pork, lots of fish options. Basically the only thing meat-wise we're buying from the store right now is chicken. It is September, so kids go back to school. Well, my kids have been in school the last couple of weeks already. My husband also started night school for this semester this month, and we're heading into fall. So I'm kind of transitioning out of summer meals into more like fall and winter meals. So let's go ahead and hop into my meal plan because these videos can get a little long. Sat down to do my meal plan this month. I knew that I want to do crock pot meals every night. My husband has night school just because he's not going to be here those nights. So I wanted something easy with easy cleanup, things like that. So I went through Pinterest and I found 5 crock pot meals just to give myself an extra one just in case I wanted to do a crock pot meal on a weekend, or I just wanted to have an extra one just in case. So we're gonna do a chicken stuffing crock pot meal, which I have done in the past, just have not done it in a very long time. So we're gonna do that. I also found a recipe for a beef stroganoff, a brown sugar pork chop, but my pork chops are getting kind of low right now in my freezer. So I think I'm gonna do a pork steak instead and save some of my pork chops, just kind of so we can have them a little bit longer. We're gonna do a queso chicken taco. This also looked very easy. I'm pretty sure the recipe only called for 4 ingredients, 5 if you're gonna count your tortilla. So very simple, very easy. Lots of tomatoes coming from the garden right now. We still have lettuce coming out of the garden, which is actually crazy with how hot it's been. I don't know how my lettuce hasn't bolted, but it hasn't yet. So lots of things happening there. Of course, lots of fresh salsa happening right now. I'm gonna do a creamy ranch chicken. That's a new one for me as well, but wanted to give a bunch of crock pot meals a go. That way I have crock pot meals for every night. He has night school this month. School year, every Friday we do pizza nights. Fridays are my day where I just deep clean my house. Basically anything that gets out of hand during the week, I tackle on Fridays. I'll make sure all my bathrooms are scrubbed, you know, bedding gets washed, all those things. So I really like doing pizzas on Fridays because all I have to do is prep the pizza crust. And then we kind of kick off the weekend with a clean house, pizza nights, movie nights. The kids think it's really fun because we'll eat pizza like on the couch. We don't have to sit on the table. So we kind of make it a little bit more of a fun evening. So I love doing pizzas. So we're doing pizzas 4 times this month because there are 4 Fridays of the month. Also gonna do spaghetti pie. This is a family favorite and it was a request. Last month I put this cheesy chicken sausage pasta on the meal plan. Well, it got skipped over for whatever reason. I'm pretty sure it's because we ended up using the kielbasa for different meals and this one just kind of got skipped over. So I put it on the meal plan this month and hopefully we'll get to it this month. It looks really good and really easy. Really nice Pinterest meal, so I want to give that a go. We're also going to do a Cajun brown sugar salmon. We have lots of salmon in the freezer right now. Plus my husband wants to hit the salmon run, which happens, it's going to start running really soon here. September, October is when they start running. It's a little different every year here locally. But my husband wants to hit that up, so just gonna kind of keep rotating through the salmon. I'm gonna do a brook trout with bacon. We're gonna do this twice this month. How we like to do our brook trout is we just roast it whole. I wrap it in tin foil, put a slab of bacon in it with like some lemon pepper and some onions, and it's just delicious. And we wrap it in the tin foil, we bake it in the oven, and it is so good. We just put the whole trout typically in the middle of the table and everybody kind of picks off their chunk or their pieces. We usually do those. I like to make potato pancakes when I do the whole trout like that. It's just really yummy. We'll do corn or something on the side. So options there, but we are gonna do the brook trout twice. Then how I stagger meals, if we're eating them twice, is I'll make sure that we eat one like the first week of the month and then we'll eat it the second time the last week of the month. So we are getting a big stretch of time in between eating them twice. It's not like we're eating, you know, eating them back to back. I found these breakfast pastry bars that I really want to give a go. I found these on Pinterest as well, but my thinking here is that if I can make a big sheet tray of them, I can freeze some of them and then we can save them for breakfast for school days, or my husband can bring them to work with him. I have lots of eggs coming in right now, so this would be a good way to use up some eggs, get those in the freezer, and just kind of keep working through what we have. I also really want to do pasties this month. We got pasties recently from our local pasty shop, and they're just so good. So it just kind of like, I wanted to go back and make pasties, but I had this idea of making breakfast pasties, and typically how you dip your pasties in either ketchup or like brown gravy. But I was talking to my husband just really randomly. We're actually in the car, and I was like, how good would it be to make a breakfast pasty but dip it in like a sausage gravy like you would for like biscuits and gravy? And ever since then, neither one of us can stop thinking about it. So I want to do that this month. I want to make normal pasties, make enough dough where I could also make some breakfast pasties, and then make the biscuits and gravy dipping sauce or dipping gravy. And then we can put those in the freezer as well, pull them out when we want. So I'm excited about those. I think they'll be really good. Also gonna do a Salisbury steak. This is another thing, just a new kind of seasonal recipe that we're bringing out that we haven't made for about a year. I like to make my Salisbury steaks in the cast iron. I'll make this like mushroom, onion, creamy gravy that goes over it. It's so good. And then we typically will eat it over mashed potatoes, but there's options there. You could do rice, you could even put it over noodles if you wanted, but it's so good. So I'm gonna do that this month. I also have a birthday this month, so my daughter requested chicken nuggets, french fries, and a fruit plate for her birthday dinner. So that's what we're gonna do the night of her birthday. I want to do scalloped potatoes in the crock pot with a venison tenderloin. That'll be a super easy, quick dinner because venison tenderloin, I like to just kiss mine in my cast iron skillet. Just a couple minutes on each side with some mushrooms and some onions. Once again, I'll probably make that like creamy brown gravy, and we'll have that with scalloped potatoes, and that'll be a really easy meal, really quick cleanup just between the crock pot and then the cast iron pan. Super simple and super delicious. I love fall and winter meals because I like meals that make me feel warm when I eat them, and they're just like hearty and very simple, easy to make, easy ingredients, and they're so good. So I love this time of year when it comes to food. I found this recipe for a ravioli sauce on Pinterest, but last month we ate it over tortellini and it was fantastic. Everybody loved it. I added kielbasa to it just because this recipe didn't have any protein in it and I wanted to add some protein in it, so I threw in the kielbasa. It was so good. I'm thinking about bringing you guys along this month and showing you guys like my family's favorite pasta dishes, different things like that throughout the month. And I think I'm going to show you guys how I made this sauce. It's super simple, super delicious, and it didn't call for any extra ingredients that I normally keep on hand. So it was just really easy pantry staples for me to just throw this together, and it was so good. You wouldn't even have to make it over tortellini or over ravioli. I think if you made this over penne pasta, it would be just as delicious. So I want to share that with you guys this month. It was so good. Old-fashioned tater tot casserole. This makes so much food. A big tater tot casserole, if I make it in a 9x13 pan, will feed the six of us for probably 3 meals between like a dinner, a lunch, and then another dinner. Or what I like to do is make a big tater tot casserole like on a Saturday for lunch, and then we'll have it for lunch, dinner, and then lunch on Sunday. I love doing it that, especially this time of year because things are kind of winding down. The weather's really nice. It's really cool outside, so we love to get outside and go on hikes and go fishing, trying to fill the freezer just a little bit more before like ice fishing would happen. We want to spend time outside. We're finishing off the garden. We're preserving. So it just gets kind of busy. So to be able to have like a big casserole in the fridge to just heat up whenever is really convenient. So I love to do that this time of year. So we're going to do a really big tater tot casserole. Burgers are always a request, and with lots of ground beef, it's always possible. So we're going to do burgers this month. I think we're just going to do plain, keep it simple burgers. Like I said, tomatoes are in the garden. I just made a ton of pickles. Those will be good to go. We've got lettuce in the garden, like all the things that you could possibly want. Onions are going to be ready to harvest pretty quick, so lots of things happening and it's going to be delicious. My husband also requested Swedish meatballs. I love this meal because you can take the meatballs and put it over a ton of different things and the meal feels totally different. So we eat it over fresh pasta, we eat it over rice, we eat it over potatoes. Very good. If you really wanted to, you could probably even eat this over gnocchis. Fantastic, but I love this. My oldest daughter requested baked mac and cheese with sausage in it, so I'm going to try to find some sort of probably cheddar sausage or something and put that in the baked mac and cheese. She also requested cheesy beef taquitos. We have not done taquitos in a very long time, so we're gonna go ahead and make some taquitos. I'm thinking about making a really big batch of taquitos. That way I can also put some in the freezer, and then I can put those in lunch boxes for kids' school lunches as well. So that's kind of what I'm leaning towards. I have everything to do it, and it's not going to be hard for me to just make a big crock pot full of the taquito filling and then just stuff them into soft shell tacos. We roll them up. I'll bake them in the oven for a while until they're crispy. If you want to, you can put them in your air fryer, and then once they've cooled off, I'll just ladle a ton of them into a freezer Ziploc bag, and then I'll just take them out of Ziploc bags and put them in lunch boxes, and then they'll be thawed by lunchtime for the kids, and they'll be able to have like this cheesy beef taquito taco for lunches. My husband requested hot tuna casserole, which is something we don't do very often. We probably do it twice a year, just because our kids aren't the biggest fan of the hot tuna casseroles. The only way I can get them to eat the hot tuna casserole is if I crush potato chips on top, but that's okay. So we're going to do the hot tuna casserole once this month, and I'll probably just make a small little casserole for us to have, and then we're also going to do a big batch of Spanish rice. This is another thing that I love to do on a Saturday. Make a big batch of Spanish rice for the weekend, and then it's in the fridge, and whenever you're hungry, we can just heat you up a bowl. You can sit down and eat. So we're going to do that this month as well. My husband found this Mediterranean vegetable and fish recipe that he wants me to do with some of the white fish that we have in the freezers right now. So we're going to do that. Then the last 2 days of the month, we actually have my girl's birthday party. So how we do birthdays in our house, because we have 4 children, but their birthdays are kind of grouped together. So we have 2 birthdays within a week of each other, and then another 2 birthdays within like 2 weeks of each other. So instead of doing 4 separate birthday parties and having everybody in our house 2 weekends in a row, 2 different times throughout the year, if that makes any sense, we just group them together and we do 1 birthday party for the 2 kids and 1 birthday party for the 2 kids. So my oldest girl's birthdays are first. One is at the end of September, beginning of October, but their birthday party is going to be the last weekend of September. So I will have some sort of dinner for their birthday party, but the girls haven't decided what they want to do for food wise for their birthday party. Typically we just order in really big pizzas and we do that, so that's probably what they're going to want to do. But I have 1 day reserved for their birthday dinner. We also have a wedding this month, so I'm not going to have to plan a meal for the day of the wedding because we're going to be at the wedding and we will eat there. So that is all 31 meals for my large family all the way through September. I do get questions all the time about lunches, so let me touch on lunches really quickly. We typically will just use leftovers as lunches for my husband, for myself and the kids that are home during the day. For our school-aged kids, I pack their lunches, and typically they do things like peanut butter sandwiches. They like, I don't even know, what do I put in their lunches? Geez, we'll make like little lunchable pizzas for them, or little lunchable like crackers, sausage and cheeses, lots of different things, fruits, vegetables. Like there's always stuff that I'm putting in their lunch boxes. And then for most of their fun things like cookies, muffins, Rice Krispies, I just make those and then we'll use those as snacks for all of our kids and for ourselves. I have these glass jars that sit up on my counters that are usually full of different options, whether that be Chex Mixes, muffins, cookies, brownies, muffins. We do a lot of muffins this time of year. The kids really like those, so that's what we do for those. For breakfast, we have laying hens. We always have bread, so Eggs and toast is a big one here. I buy my breakfast stuff in bulk, typically from Sam's Club, so we have lots of oatmeal, pancake mix, and like I said, I make all of those muffins. We talked about doing some pasties and some breakfast pastry bars, so that's kind of how we do things that way. But that's just really simple, my meal plan for the month for my family. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys have a fantastic day. Let me know down below what's on your meal plan this month, because I'm always curious. If you're interested, my Pinterest is linked down below in the description box if you want to find any of the meals that I talked about here. They're probably somewhere on my Pinterest board, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.